Республика Башкортостан. Европа и Азия. Бескрайние степи, реки, озера и древние Уральские горы. Место силы, красоты, гармонии. Мы республика с древней и богатой историей, веками жившая в дружбе с Россией. Мы первая автономия в составе Советской России и первый нефтяной край в Урало-Поволжье. Башкортостан – территория прогресса и инноваций. Крупнейший современный центр нефтегазодобычи и нефтехимии. Республика с сильной экономикой, с богатыми природными ископаемыми, к которым мы бережно относимся. Башкортостан – территория мощной энергетики, большого металла и передовой фармацевтики. Мы заботимся об экологии, поднимаем в небо лучшие в мире самолеты и собираем вертолеты. Открываем новые производства, создаем рабочие места, особые экономические зоны и лучшие условия для бизнеса. Мы благоустраиваем наши города и села, реализуем транспортную реформу, обновляем автопарк медицинской и школьной техники. Столица Башкортостана – город Уфа. Здесь проводят крупные деловые, культурные и спортивные мероприятия. И здесь, как и во всей республике, мы заботимся о жителях. Башкортостан – важнейший транспортный узел между Европой и Азией и очень гостеприимный край. Мы принимаем гостей и знакомим их с нашей историей, с национальными традициями и культурой, с мелодиями курая и кубыза, угощаем башкирским медом и кумысом и организуем отличную туристическую инфраструктуру. Самое главное в Башкортостане – люди. Нас более 4 миллионов и 160 национальностей. Мы уважаем все религии, ценим друг друга и прославляем наш край. Протягиваем руку тем, кому нужна помощь, и своих никогда не бросаем. Башкортостан – надежный деловой и промышленный партнер. Мы всегда в движении вперед. Мы рискуем и побеждаем. Мы учимся, открываем новое, бережем историю, создаем и внедряем в жизнь современное. Башкортостан – родина сильных духом. И у нас большое будущее. Башкортостан – территория прогресса и инноваций. Крупнейший современный центр нефтегазодобычи и нефтехимии. Республика с сильной экономикой, с богатыми природными ископаемыми, к которым мы бережно относимся. Башкортостан – территория мощной энергетики, большого металла и передовой фармацевтики. Мы заботимся об экологии, поднимаем в небо лучшие в мире самолеты и собираем вертолеты. Открываем новые производства, создаем рабочие места, особые экономические зоны и лучшие условия для бизнеса. Мы благоустраиваем наши города и села, реализуем транспортную реформу, Обновляем автопарк медицинской и школьной техники. Столица Башкортостана – город Уфа. Здесь проводят крупные деловые, культурные и спортивные мероприятия. И здесь, как и во всей республике, мы заботимся о жителях. Башкортостан – важнейший транспортный узел между Европой и Азией и очень гостеприимный край. Мы принимаем гостей и знакомим их с нашей историей, с национальными традициями и культурой, с мелодиями курая и кубыза, угощаем башкирским медом и кумысом и организуем отличную туристическую инфраструктуру. Самое главное в Башкортостане – люди. Нас более 4 миллионов и 160 национальностей. Мы уважаем все религии, ценим друг друга и прославляем наш край. Протягиваем руку тем, кому нужна помощь, и своих никогда не бросаем. Башкортостан – надежный деловой и промышленный партнер. Мы всегда в движении вперед. Мы рискуем и побеждаем. Мы учимся, открываем новое, бережем историю, создаем и внедряем в жизнь современное. Башкортостан – родина сильных духом. И у нас большое будущее. Республика Башкортостан. Европа и Азия. Бескрайние степи, реки, озера и древние Уральские горы. Место силы, красоты, гармонии. Мы республика с древней и богатой историей, веками жившая в дружбе с Россией. Мы первая автономия в составе Советской России и первый нефтяной край в Урало-Поволжье. Башкортостан – территория прогресса и инноваций. Крупнейший современный центр нефтегазодобычи и нефтехимии. Республика с сильной экономикой, с богатыми природными ископаемыми, к которым мы бережно относимся. Башкортостан – территория мощной энергетики, большого металла и передовой фармацевтики. Мы заботимся об экологии, поднимаем в небо лучшие в мире самолеты и собираем вертолеты. Открываем новые производства, создаем рабочие места, особые экономические зоны и лучшие условия для бизнеса. Мы благоустраиваем наши города и села, реализуем транспортную реформу, обновляем автопарк медицинской и школьной техники. Столица Башкортостана – город Уфа. Здесь проводят крупные деловые, культурные и спортивные мероприятия. И здесь, как и во всей республике, мы заботимся о жителях. Башкортостан – важнейший транспортный узел между Европой и Азией и очень гостеприимный край. Мы принимаем гостей и знакомим их с нашей историей, с национальными традициями и культурой, с мелодиями курая и кубыза, угощаем башкирским медом и кумысом и организуем отличную туристическую инфраструктуру. Самое главное в Башкортостане – люди. Нас более 4 миллионов и 160 национальностей. Мы уважаем все религии, ценим друг друга и прославляем наш край. Протягиваем руку тем, кому нужна помощь, и своих никогда не бросаем. Башкортостан – надежный деловой и промышленный партнер. Мы всегда в движении вперед. Мы рискуем и побеждаем. Мы учимся, открываем новое, бережем историю, создаем и внедряем в жизнь современное. Башкортостан – родина сильных духом. И у нас большое будущее. Республика Башкортостан. Европа и Азия.
Коллеги, приветствуем всех.
Good morning, dear colleagues.
Прошу всех микрофонов немножко
I would like to lower the microphones before we start because we do the video shooting.
Первоочередная картинка.
So for TV, the picture is very important. Good morning, everyone on our discussion platform.
Международный телевизор.
I greet all the participants of the International Business Week here in Ufa, the capital of the Republic of Bashkortostan.
Вас всех
And I'm happy to see you all here
в декабре.
in December in Ufa.
Сегодня секция называется
Today, the topic of our section is support of business, new opportunities for business, and
«Среднее предпринимательство».
small size and medium size of entrepreneurship is a stimmer for many countries
И превышает
into the
в России в лучшем
they make a big contribution into GDP of the countries.
цифра чуть меньше, но тем не менее
But nevertheless,
ставку делается на малое и среднее предпринимательство много больше в других странах.
other countries bet more on small size and medium sized businesses. But we also follow this trend in our country and pay special attention, and it's not a big secret
Лучше подстраиваются под любые изменения,
that
чем делают это крупные компании, конечно.
small-sized businesses, they adapt to economy much faster than large companies. And
Окрашиваться новыми цветами, ну и, соответственно,
the issue of support, of state support, should be
поговорим.
becomes more and more important. Today we have very interesting guests from SME Corporation, representatives of friendly countries, and they will share their experience, how they support this sector of economy. And there is a trend that some of the entrepreneurs decided to relocate, and for this reason they try to create some conditions for them. So we will talk about it today, but for the beginning I suggest to give floor to our guest,
Заместителю генерального директора корпорации МСП, корпорации
Deputy General Director of SME Corporation for small-sized and medium-sized entrepreneurs that develop different tools to support this sector of economy. And we have Andrei Zheleznikov. Andrei, if we speak about support, of course we remember the previous years, and in pandemic years, the SME Corporation developed tools that really helped to this sector. And how do we support right now this sector? Maybe you have some new tools that are up to date today. Thank you, colleagues, very much. First of all, I'm very happy for this opportunity. It's the first time I'm in Ufa, and I hope that today I will not only speak about the work of corporation and the tools for entrepreneurs and how to get them, and I will name some results as well, but I would like to highlight that I won't have enough time to have a look around the city, but it's my first visit, and I hope that next year I will come here and will be more attentive and will look around the city, the people. And my first impression yesterday evening, that it's very hospitable people, very friendly greetings, chak-chak, kumis, local delicacies, and my wife asked to bring some as well. And let's get down to business. So what does the corporation have today, and how we can assist business? And we will click with the slides, yeah? Okay. We can have a general slide. I would like to highlight that for entrepreneurs today, the financial support, help in retail of the products, protection of rights, and intercooperation with regions. These are the main directions for the corporation activity, and I will stop on each direction in more details. Can I have another slide, please? Yes, a huge request for money for beneficiary loans, and today we have some programs in the Russian Federation, and I would like to draw your attention to the mutual program of Central Bank of the Russian Federation and the SME Corporation. It's a stimulation of loan-getting program, and entrepreneurs can get bank loans up to 2 billion rubles with interest rate up to 12%. We have 61 bank partners in this program, so you can address to any bank and they will assess your application. It's very important to know that besides the federal program, we have the program that the subjects of the Russian Federation can be participants of this program, of this beneficial credit loan program. And together with the PSK program, you can lower the interest rate up to 3% thanks to the regional part of the budget. And today, 5 regions of Russian Federation joined the program and will mutually implement it. And right now, 181 loans were given, worth practically 3 billion rubles. Can I have another slide, please? If we speak about beneficial loans, to support the productive companies, we developed a program together with the Ministry of Economic Development, with the Bank of Russia, and corporations where the entrepreneurs can get bank loans or can get loans with the interest rate 2.5% per annum with medium-sized businesses and 4% for micro and small-sized companies. Not all the regions participate in this program. We speak about priority directions. It's production, logistics, and tourism. And today, in 63 regions of the Russian Federation, entrepreneurs received practically 40 billion credit loans at this rate, at this unique rate for small-sized and medium-sized businesses. Next slide, please. What is important here on this slide, another direction of our activity today, the entrepreneur that wants to get a loan and he doesn't have enough funds, and so he can address to the corporation, and within one window from the corporation he will get guarantees to get the bank loan. Today this program is working, and if we speak about this total sum of bank loans that entrepreneurs got according to this program, it's 230 billion rubles. And next slide is beneficial leasing. It's a separate program of corporation. Today, entrepreneurs can get equipment in leasing according to the following rates: 6 and 8%. 6 for Russian equipment, 8% for foreign equipment. And we created a unified corporation named SME Leasing, and next year we're planning to lease, to give leasing at these rates, and in our ambitious plans is to increase the volume of support in times, not 2 times, but more than 2 times. And through the application can be obtained through the digital platform. MSP Bank, it's another branch organization of our corporation. Just a few words about our directions of work. It's development of express credit loan, remote express credit loan. We believe it will be an alternative to the normal credit loans for high-tech and growing companies. These are the main directions of MSP Bank. And another program I forgot to tell you, that the government really supports high-tech, innovative companies. And today we have an opportunity to get credit loans with an interest rate of 3% through the digital platform of SME. If it's a high-tech company, we accept applications up to 3 years term for 3% interest rate. Next slide. So I told you about the financial support. Let's speak about the markets. One of the major factors of development of business is the presence of quality, constant developing markets for sales. What do we do in these directions? First of all, our key task in this direction is to follow quotes by the biggest customers. So today the biggest customers must follow the quote for 25% per annum to buy products from small size and medium size entrepreneurs. If we take the index today on purchases in the Republic of Bashkortostan, this sum about 100 billion rubles. That's the money the subjects of small size and medium size business in Bashkortostan could receive thanks to this quote, thanks to the purchases from the side of huge customers, big customers. What else? On our digital platform, we created a special service that is an aggregator of electronic sales platforms where we place deals up to 500,000 rubles. So you don't need to choose different platforms. It's just enough to enter the SME digital platform, use the service, and the algorithm of participation is user-friendly and very easy. And today, with the small volume purchases, a lot of businesses took part. Can I have another slide? What else they would do? Within the framework of St. Petersburg Forum, the President of Russian Federation ordered to provide support possibility to small-size businesses to have offset agreements. And today we prepared the legal basis, and the program starts functioning. What is an offset agreement? I will say a few words about it. Within the framework of this contract, the subject of small business is performs like an investor and like a provider. And he can invest his own funds or attracted funds, and the company with the state participation must provide long-term purchases of the products. And it's win-to-win contract. And the supplier, small-size subject, and the customer, a huge company with state participation that gets a reliable partner and supplier of local products. And of course the state, when they try to solve the task of import substitution and creation of new working places. And we hope that the quality of the offset agreements will increase. And of course I would like to mention a few words about the program of growing. These offset agreements will be after the application of entrepreneur to participate in the program of growing. Just a few words about it. So the companies with the state participation, they form the necessity on the digital platform. They issue the list of products they need. So the small-sized businesses can look through these lists and to check whether they meet the requirements or not, and then they can send the application, and then they will be rendered help. And after that, there will be a decision on whether to sign a deal, sign an offset deal with this subject. Can I have another slide, please? On the digital platform of SME, we made two services for companies that do not sales products and non-sales products. What did we do? We aggregated the demand of 65 biggest Russian companies and retailers and 30 foreign companies, and this list is increasing constantly. These huge companies placed the demand, the list of the products they need, and today the subject of small-sized business can enter the digital platform, get to know the necessity of huge Russian companies and send them commercial offers for cooperation. The same for the sales products. We digitalized the demand of Russian retailers, and if you are an agricultural producer, you enter this platform and do the same. So the corporation helps to form long-term relationship between the companies and the entrepreneurs. Can I have another slide? Protection of rights of entrepreneurs. It's one slide, but I think it's a key slide. Last year, we launched this service, and we called it 365 service. So entrepreneur from any region of our country can send us an application, a question, a claim, what kind of claim it can be. So I mentioned that thanks to the effort of Russian Federation and the subjects of the Russian Federation, we have a complex of measures to support entrepreneurship. If entrepreneur doesn't understand how to apply, there is a problem with receiving. The corporation doesn't work properly, so please tell us, write to us. We accept these claims and we solve these issues of entrepreneurs, but they address not only with the questions. Any kind of questions can be checked. Administrative pressure, contract non-fulfillment, non-execution with the huge customers. So on the one hand, we solve the problems of the entrepreneurs, but at the same time, this service allows us to monitor the service around the country and to highlight the problems that need serious attention from our side and from the side of the government, and also connected with the change of the legislation that regulates these groups of relations. And the next slide, please. It's the final one. It's the digital platform, MSP. Today I've mentioned many times that digital platform. What is this? It's a state platform. It was created at the beginning of this year by the corporation, together with the Ministry of Economic Development of the Russian Federation, but it is more important with the participation of entrepreneurs. Why do we need it? First of all, I believe it can be useful for entrepreneurs only because it contains a lot of useful services, and it doesn't matter on which stage of business the entrepreneur is, but the platform will give a lot of answers to a lot of questions. That's one part. And the second very important part is that the placement on the platform, not only federal measures of support of corporations, but also regional measures of support. A lot of work has been done in this direction. Today, it's 25 regions connected to this digital platform. I'm speaking about automated integration of the system of support of business in the region. And by the end of the year, other regions will join the program. But as we can see, not all the regions are ready to do that by the integration. For them, we created the personal accounts within the digital platform, and the subjects of Russian Federation can place their services on the digital platform. Not only place, but also get orders, process them, and render services back, basically, through this platform of a certain region. Today, more than 250,000 entrepreneurs connected through Gosuslugi to this digital platform. It's a very easy authorization, and the entrepreneur gets access to the services for federal and regional measures of support. Why do we do that? And I forgot to mention that just a couple of days we will finish the work on forming the digital profile of entrepreneur on this platform. And this project, together with the Ministry of Economic Development of Russia and other authorities, is actually on the final run. What will help? It will allow to get the support measures through the digital platform with less effort, because it will be a huge database collected on this digital platform, and that will make it easier to receive the measures of support. But I believe what is more important is, thanks to the information that we will know about the entrepreneur, we will address to each entrepreneur individually and send him the support measures that will fit him and will lead to maximum effect, that will give maximum effect of these measures. Thus, the digitalization of support measures on any kind of level, regional, federal, it must increase the scope of the entrepreneurs. And what is more important, we will see the satisfaction results of these measures rendered through the platform. That will help us in the dialogue with entrepreneurs and to make it more effective. Thank you, colleagues, for your attention. I was very happy. I hope that the information will be useful and you will use it in your work and development of business. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Andrei. Before the next speaker, I'd like to ask several questions. First of all, on defense of businesses. How many institutes are provided? We have even business sheriffs, different corporations which are developed. That's why we're a bit worried in this part of support. Talking about preferential loans, about 10-15% annually. There are also programs even 3%, but sometimes regions also suffer deficiency in this industry. Maybe there should be a short-term in order to subsidize this stake together with the state, in order to help the entrepreneurs to rebuild their businesses to a new industry. To cut short, I'd like you to pay attention to the opportunities to use federal programs together with regional one. Of course, we have a lot of complications and not much people have already joined this program. But as for the programs which we already implement, there is a stake of 2.5%. And of course, we first of all observe those applicants who could take more. For some of the regions, it's quite a big sum. And our efforts to reduce to the record percentage of 2 and 5, I think it's an outbreak step right now, because we watch how this program is implemented in different industries. Of course, you could go and send the application to the bank and get the 2 and 5%. You could have the term for 10 years to cover it. And of course, we have these steps right now. We'll test this program now, and we'll see how and what would be the results in the next year. What about entering? Of course, for some people, 50 million is quite a big sum. And I don't think that it frightens that much. But several years ago, they had questions on the turning back of the documents. Do you soften this rule, especially during complication times? Of course, we understand that we should take into consideration all the risks, but money should have an opportunity to turn back. We know about the refusals of banks because they are separate legal entities, and they implement the program of preferential loans. What did we do here? We have already launched the Center of Investment Loans at our platform. The investor could go directly to bank or could use the loans center. Within this center, we help to prepare documents, business plan, financial model. We study the requirements of the bank and make the path of getting the loan easier. It was launched not long ago, and we would like to raise the conversion of the loans to entrepreneurs within this program.
Но тем не менее, он
So I can announce the first step, but I cannot tell more. But I believe that we should large scale this program and reach the results together with entrepreneurs.
опять-таки много пробовать для того,
So entrepreneurs should try
чтобы места для
a lot to find
не пробовать, но
some problems, to find
вам спасибо огромное.
casualties and their mistakes and faults. Thank you very much, Andrei Evgenich.
Туризму Республики Башкортостан.
Right now, I'd like to give the floor
Залово, вот здесь
to Rustem Avzalov.
поддержка малого и среднего предпринимательства действительно,
So here, in the sphere of
когда принимались
support of entrepreneurs, during the pandemic,
миллиардов рублей, что в других регионах, конечно,
the
как
support reached more than 50 billion rubles.
в регионе есть своя программа, и
Each region has its own program, and
власти региона, так скажем, вот
how
разрабатывают
the state
и меры
develops these instruments and support measures
власти на местах
shows how
свой бизнес.
the government loves business of the region
Не тот в республике, да, и вот здесь вот
and the republic.
новинки сейчас разрабатываются ввиду того, что ну вот
Which new support instruments are developed right now?
НС по
As according to all the reports,
там почти 50
in Russia,
закрылось, вернее открылось,
One-
52 с небольшим закрылось, но
51,000 companies have already opened.
вот ликвидация превысила, но при этом благо Минэкономразвития
But cancellation prevails.
3 миллиона 640, и вот оно
The beginning of November, we have 3,600,000.
в динамике сохраняется положительно.
So we have positive dynamics. What about the regional level?
Рави, большое спасибо.
Thank you very much.
Друзья,
Distinguished participants,
Хайрлирте, доброе утро.
good morning.
В Кыргызстане так говорят.
We tell in Bashkortostan Khairli erta.
Здесь на площадке.
I'm so glad to meet you all here at our discussion.
В принципе, в своем выступлении, так небольшом, я хотел бы
Within my speech, I would like to touch upon the questions which you have mentioned right now.
конечно, в первую очередь хотел
Of course, first of all, I would like to tell more about how we develop the business in Bashkortostan, because we have our partners, our friends, India, Armenia, Uzbekistan.
когда
Of course, when
эти рынки, в том
they
числе, мы говорим,
enter these markets,
это само собой, да, но когда к нам,
especially
конечно же, важно,
foreigners, of course, they need to know which instruments could they use if they'll become residents of Bashkortostan, and which
конечно же, для
support measures
поддержки
they could use.
ФМСП является
Of course, the support of SME is an essential goal,
достаточно хорошие шаги.
and I believe that we do quite big steps in order to provide the right support.
Надо отметить, что, как
We should notify that,
сказали,
as you mentioned before,
мы реализуем крупные
today we implement
разрабатываем своими.
giant
И один из таких
pilot programs, projects.
года это
One of the examples is
кризис шерифов.
the Institute of Business Sheriffs, which
История, когда
was put into operation 3 years ago.
в каждом муниципалитете, а в Башкортостане
It's the story then at each
такой бизнес
municipality
главы
we have a sheriff which works like a deputy minister of administration, which is involved only
тех проектов,
into the issues of business support and those programs which are discussed on the regional level.
признан
We have started 3 years ago, and it was accepted as the best regional practice.
сегодня наряду
Nowadays,
с тем, что мы успешно реализуем,
in a row with other projects which are implemented and generated,
удобнее всего, когда
the best way is to start from the land.
начинает, да,
Because when an investor comes, firstly he asks whether you have a land, when you have an area,
энергетики, да,
if you have energy opportunities,
по коммуникациям какие-то.
water or other communications. And of course, he studies the market.
Успешно
Apart from us, this project is also implemented by Samara region, Udmurtia, and others. So it became
использование, да, и
useful and widespread.
Хотел привести вот несколько цифр.
I also wanted to mention some numbers which characterize our
Сегодня
level.
по количеству субъектов более 127.
Among all the subjects, we have more than
С начала года
127,000.
сегодня
It's a small growth
это важно. Сегодня не слететь.
since the beginning of the year, but right now, to preserve this stake is also
Мы сохранили свое место
a great experience. We have set the third stage
в Федерации по количеству.
among the regions,
Но я скажу вам другое, да?
but I'd like to say that
Очень большое, смотрите.
why this part is quite big, because 30% of it
Предпринимательство.
comes to the subjects of small and medium-sized entrepreneurship.
Из тех, кто занят,
A quarter of
из занятого населения, это
people involved
субъектов малого и среднего предпринимательства. Это тоже важно.
into
Смотрите,
labor workforce are the representatives of
на текущий,
SME businesses.
грубо говоря, да, поступило налогов
To date,
в МСП 13,7 миллиардов. Вот в прошлом году на аналогичный период, да, и
we received
года это было
13.7 billion from taxes. Previous year, there were 11.
мы активно развиваемся внутри
It's clear that we are actively developing within the region.
и
We have regional
потому что
ties.
количество не выросли, сохранились.
We have the same quantity, but as for taxes,
Поэтому это вот хорошая история.
we increased them.
По сути,
It's a good history because sometimes
которую мы
such complications we face
как раз-таки
form
вектор того, что мы
our vector that we develop inside the
создали
Republic
то есть эти налоги
and create economy, because these taxes
нашего региона. Вот это
are
большое.
spent on development of our region. That's the great advantage.
Если, несмотря на такие, что сложности,
Despite
мы
complications,
большую
we
поддержку
provided
МСП за 11 месяцев
support for SMEs.
меры поддержки
623
более 20,
enterprises have already received support,
также еще и не финансовые, это почти 4000 предпринимателей, которые...
both financial and non-financial.
Я хотел бы здесь вот еще с вами обсудить
Here I'd like to discuss one moment.
сегодня о мерах поддержки.
While we are talking about the support measures and internal support measures of the region,
Новым
I'd like to stop at one of our projects. It's mechanism of
называемый предприниматель кэшбэк.
tax
Новый проект.
cashback. It's a new project.
Говорим о том, что если
When we talk about
который у нас
entrepreneurs
является плательщиком УСН,
who pays
работает, успешно исполняет свои
income tax,
готовы ему вернуть
we are ready to pay
обратно для на инвестиционный
these taxes back for investments
до 5 миллионов, которого
up to 5 million
уже проект
that he'll
его вести. Вот эта мера,
provide for his project. This measure,
концепция
this concept,
ну, с
we discussed it with
мнениями
business unions,
палата.
Trade and Commerce Chamber, Opora Russia,
Мы обсудили ее вместе с
business associations,
руководством
with SME Corporation too, and we found support
Суть
to this program.
именно в том, что
But the root is,
важно в нынешний период, в том
it
числе
is essential
поддержка тех, кто
to support those
сырьевой продукции.
who are the manufacturers of,
Упор на
who are involved into
экспортерами.
resource industry, and to those who are exporters.
Если ответить,
This program
то нету понятия
has no
операции.
understanding of acceleration as usual, because each grant, each subsidy
Содержит
usually has
акселерационные
substantial
увеличение количества,
tasks
например, там,
to increase the amount of workforce, to increase the tax paying.
мы здесь отказались от этого.
We refused to include it into the program.
Сохранение среднеспичной численности.
We decided to stress
не всегда,
the preservation of workforce which we'll have
и, наверное, и в этот период
in this program.
не всегда нужно
Nowadays, I believe it's not necessary to have this acceleration, but preservation.
в таком формате.
That's why this program
Надеюсь, что он найдет свое
will be operating in this format and will be applicable.
бизнеса. Поддержка больше
The modern business support is firstly is more necessary at the
стадии.
first step
Только начинаются,
when we just start.
только старт. И, конечно, здесь мы вам
And of course, here we are highly interested in
продукты, которые сейчас они, по сути,
such products
в рамках национальных проектов
with a frame of
там есть у нас
implemented with a frame of national policy,
молодым предпринимателям
and also we support
было оказано.
young entrepreneurs within the national project.
Конечно, вот играет
Of course,
вот важную роль играют национальные проекты.
national projects play an essential part.
Количество увеличилось на 8%.
This year, we have an increase in 18% in the social project.
Количество МСП социальных мы занимаем
As for
второе место.
SME,
Меры поддержки
we hold the second place.
в этом году помогли молодым предпринимателям.
This year, we also helped the young entrepreneurs.
Вроде как на первом месте,
The numbers are that we
до конца года осталось еще немножко.
can take the first place.
Но
But
по молодым предпринимателям
as for young entrepreneurs, we had a paradox. 133 entrepreneurs have received support
им раздали,
in amount of 63 million.
что подало заявок 199, на момент
There were only 199 applications.
это 100
Half of them,
МСП,
100 subjects,
вновь рожденные предприниматели.
registered once again, re-registered.
Такие программы
Such projects
являются таким драйвером, генератором.
are drivers, generators of new businesses.
Большое
So thank you very much
федеральное правительство видит,
that our state sees
делает упор, потому что, еще раз отмечу, что
the opportunities and sees the future of them, because it's a new project.
в нашей работе мы зачастую сталкиваемся с примерами, которые
We stumbled to different examples which show the influence of entrepreneurship on implementation of large-scale social projects. I'd like to show the interconnection
и туризм развивается.
because ministry is also developing tourism and SME. We cannot separate them. It's also business. It's SME too.
Федеральный проект.
We successfully implement the project of school tourism. It's also a pilot project which was implemented for the first time.
Реализуем башкирский
And Bashkortostan
проект.
implement Bashkir
Дедушка наш
helper for old people,
старшего поколения жителей. А здесь
senior people, and here children.
что очень важно, да?
What is essential?
Сегодня
Such projects
реализация этих проектов мы
and implementation of them,
сталкивались с некими проблемами.
we stumble some
Вот эти проекты
problems.
генерировали
Nowadays, these projects generated
нам необходимо решать очень важные вопросы. С чем?
solutions to an essential question.
Допустим, проект программы
First of all, the program of school tourism
размещать в гостиницах не менее
needs hotels
начали смотреть
with 3 stars.
на
We started to check
звездности в отелях.
and realized that we need to raise the
Второе.
status of some of the hotels. The second,
С
a
нашим
great amount,
старшим поколением
the same as with senior people,
и вот
10,000 and 11,000 of children. When we decided to transfer them,
туристических автобусов.
we have no tourist
Проблема.
buses in the Republic. Is that also a problem? It's a complication.
Вносить изменения,
That's why we start to change
как говорим, в региональную лизинговую программу
regional
для того, чтобы
leasing program
просто оборудование,
in order to provide not just
а на то
equipment, but
операторы, которые будут участвовать в
to
программе и
motivate two operators involved into this program
реализации этой программы.
who will get the money for implementation of this project to start interaction with leasing companies. For example, yesterday, together with Andrei Evgenievich, we discussed how to apply federal measures to it. If we'll start the financing on behalf of Republic, should we have a limit for Bashkortostan to get it? If you do not move forward towards this goal, you need to do something. So if with this year we had only 11,000 of children, the next year there would be 35,000. If we had only 10,000 people involved into this program this year, yesterday the head of the Republic told that we need to double it. Of course, we'll have the problem with the buses. And it's the question of tour operator who should increase the number of buses. So you see, such projects have this multiple effect, which influences all the spheres: hotels, transport, tour operators, everywhere. So that's the reason talking about it. It's a great example when we need to think over the tasks in all directions. And we, as a Republic of Bashkortostan, are open to any kind of interaction, partnership. We know how to do it, and we implement it. That's why our gates, our doors are open, and I hope that our partners within the business week, I hope that we'll starting from words, we will reach the actions and we'll realize that we'll implement large-scale projects. Thank you very much.
We have a number of enterprises and instruments of support, leasing companies, microcredit companies, and if you need that you need to use if the federal funds are not enough, and when you face some difficulties, when you have difficulties of fundraising, and nivellate all these risks and decapitalize them. So that helps a lot. Thank you very much. And let's give floor to our foreign partners that is here with us today. I would like to give the floor to the president of Hans International Group, advisor of Ministry of Higher Education of Uttar Pradesh State, so Han Faisal. So if we speak about Bashkortostan and India, how do you see this partnership, this strategic partnership, when we can, on the level of entrepreneurs, we can build these relations? I'm not speaking about the avoidance of sanctions, but I speak about that the countries must work together.
Good morning, everyone. Здравствуйте, Assalamu alaikum. First of all, I would like to say thank you to the government of Bashkortostan, Russia, for such a warm welcome. It's my first time in Ufa, and I'm very glad to see how the people treat their guests. I don't know, I live in Russia and coming to Russia for over the last 10 years, and I am really regretting that why I didn't visit Bashkortostan before. And I would like to say big thanks to the government, my dear friend Rustam Afzala, for all the hospitality, all the people who look after me from day one. It's been a pleasure to be in this beautiful city, and I hope that in coming years I will visit Bashkortostan more. As we talk about the opportunities which we can create between India and Russia and Bashkortostan, I think there is a big potential between both countries. First of all, we are friends for last more than 76 years, right? Russia is India's one of the most trusted partner, as well as India is Russia one of the most trusted partner. I'm very glad to see when I go to cities, when I meet local people, they always come to me and they always tell me that, oh, we saw this movie, we know Jimmy Jimmy, we know Sita Gita. It's a very pleasure experience for me to know that how much love I get from the people of Russia for my country. The same, I would like to say that when I go home, I live in Russia. Everybody asks me, how's Russia? Because when I was planning to come to Russia, a lot of people told me, like, some things which I don't want to discuss, but I'm very glad that I don't listen to them, and this is my life, one of the best decisions which I ever make. Now I am representing Russia abroad. will represent Bashkortostan abroad because I'm an ambassador. We all are ambassador. We represent our culture, we represent our tradition, and we tell the people who we are, the way we treat people, the way we respect people, the way we create our relationship. So you people give me one of the biggest example which I can use for my future visits, which I can use for my future guests, and it's been a pleasure to come to be a part of this wonderful event. If we talk about business, I think that there are a lot of sectors which we can find new opportunities. Mr. Zheleznyk told us about a lot of support which government is providing for small and medium scale industry. Actually, I have a lot of points also in my speech, but I think you have answered me everything, and I'm very much impressed by the government, how the way you work. I mean, everything from digitalization to support for interest-free loans, subsidies, everything which you include. This is something which we really need in today's business world. As we talk about tourism, I would like to put my point also on the tourism which Mr. Avzalov told us about, the school tourism. It is very important for child to get the experience. The more they visit, the more they see the places, the more exposure they get. So they are the future. Learning is a process. So the more they will learn, the more they can use it for their future experiences. Elderly people also need to go to feel themselves more better. There are a few business areas which we can also look after. For example, online education. Online education is very important. And by 2030, I think that everything will come online and many people will go to study online. Because in today's world, we are very busy. We don't have time to go to do some courses, full-time courses. So I think online education will play a very big role. So online education is a very good platform for new business opportunity. Second thing, daycare is also a very good business opportunity. You all are working, we all are here, but our kids are at home. Somebody needs to look after them, right? So you are providing them jobs. There are companies who are providing several kinds of services for elderly age people also, because not only kids need care, elder people also need care. Another sector which we can also look for, tourism is something which I support the most because I think this is the best way to know each other culture, to know each other tradition, and there is a big potential in tourism sector. Right? Not only this, I think that in tourism what we can do, because tourism and culture, they both are interconnected. I think we need to organize more multicultural events to know each other better. This will provide local businessmen a lot of job opportunities. Local artists, they will also get more chances to showcase their talents. Also, tourism play a very big role. We can do a lot of cultural events, a lot of concerts also. It will help the region to get their name because we need branding. We are a brand ambassador. The companies which you run, these are all your brands. So if let's say Bashkortostan, I think that Bashkortostan has a very big potential. We need to do Bashkortostan branding. We need to organize their very good festival. We can invite, let's say, very popular singers, and we can do it every year. This will give Bashkortostan a very good introduction to the world, and people will want to come to attend this festival. Also, education sector is one of the biggest sector in which we can also look for. Yesterday, I came to know that there are more than 2,500 students are studying currently only in UFA. Medical students I'm talking about, and I'm very glad to see there is a large number of more Indian students wants to come to study in Russia. This is a very big sector because yesterday when I do the math, I came to know that each student pay about 400,000 rubles a year. So if you calculate 400,000 rubles into 2,500 students, so you make business for billions of rubles. And you can convert it because you have world-class universities, you have infrastructure, you can do joint venture, you can invite foreign universities to come. Foreign universities can open their campus. This will give you also investment. They will bring investment. So there are a lot of things what we can do between interconnected country. Armenia, for example, I met our dearest friend. He also told me that India is very popular also in Armenia, and we have a lot of big student exchange. So these kind of things will help us to know each other better. In current world, it is very important because many people misunderstood each other because of some government policies, and people don't want to be each other enemy. They just want to be free. They just want to live as a family, and they want to make this world a more better place to live. I think that I would like to pass on to my fellow colleagues, and I would like to say thank you once again to Bashkortostan, especially to Mr. Afzalov, Azad, and everybody who look after me. I'm very glad, I'm very impressed, and I invite you all to come to see my beautiful country. And I love Russia, and I will continue to represent Russia on international platform, and I will tell the people how beautiful this country is. And I'm very proud that I live here, and I'm very proud that I'm working with you, and I'm very proud to say that I'm half Russian. Thank you very much.
Спасибо.
Спасибо большое, господину.
Наушник, если вдруг...
Thank you very much.
Отлично. Вот я единственное хотел сказать, что если вы
Firstly,
с инвестициями,
I thought that if you come here with investments, so the visit would be even better.
предпринимателями, но туризма,
And also you'll have an opportunity to meet the entrepreneurs.
фестиваль.
We have a festival of national costumes. In Brazil, there is also
По улице
carnival. And I think that we should
Спасибо.
cooperate and create our own holiday together. As you mentioned, we also have a representative from Armenia, Gur Asryan, a deputy governor of Loru region of the Republic of Armenia. Right now, we would like to talk about the
Хорошо загружены.
touristic potential.
У нас потенциал, и каким образом, может быть, какие...
So, do we have this potential? Which instruments do we need in order to make the flow bigger
Может быть, 1, 2, 3.
and the lines of flights more often? Thank you.
Уважаемые коллеги,
Distinguished colleagues and participants of the forum,
загружены у нас
I could say that we have this overload
в городе
of international airport in another city. I think it would be a good direction and an opportunity because it's well built. It could also store big
Все-таки вот вообще,
aircrafts.
ну, сложно
But we wait
можно все-таки с вашей
from you
еще донастроить.
on your behalf if we could
В какой виде
advance in the work of Armenia and Bashkortostan to develop it. On our side, from our side,
с переводчиком, а на русском
I would not present
некоторые не
my national language,
Уважаемые коллеги,
but Russian with the translator.
Республики Армения.
I would like, on behalf of my republic, welcome you all and thank you for an organized meeting and interest to our region.
Чудесный регион.
I would like shortly present you our region and the opportunities for cooperation, and we hope that our regions would have a flourishing, profitable
Отношения
ties
продолжим.
and will continue our friendship between our countries on the regional level. Next slide, please. During our presentation, we'll talk about developed
А также
tourist
типа туризма.
directions and also our potential. We'll show you the cultural and historical heritage of our region, also the heritage of UNESCO, the nature of region will also share our statistic and investment opportunities in our region.
Территория региона
The territory of region covers 3,799 square kilometers. It's the third
территории Армении.
region and republic in accordance to the territory. The administrative center is Vanazor. The region is also called Northern Gates of Armenia because it borders the Republic of Georgia. opening the touristic sites of our region. I'd like to show you the main gem of it. So Armenia is known as a museum, an open-air museum, just because they have the heritage, the breathtaking pictures and landscapes. Among the UNESCO objects, 2 of them are located in our region. Also in our region, we have a big amount of churches. Summing up our sites, the region holds the first place among other regions in the sphere of historical monuments. The second reason to visit Lori, of course, it's nature. It's a green city of Armenia. So the landscape is breathtaking. You'll have an opportunity to breathe fresh air, open the beauty of forests, and among all the prodigies of the region, we have chosen the best one to show you. Here we have the lake of water lilies. Water lilies are included into the Red Book of Extinct Plants. Canyon Tibet would be the significant landscape item that is needed to be visited. There are a lot of opportunities for those who are involved into active sports and active tourism, for example, rafting. Other activities include riding a horse and just walking tours. Have a lot of pedestrian routes, pedestrian tours. You'll have an opportunity to start a new hobby of riding a horse and see the beauty of our culture and nature through it. We also provide facilities for glamping. As for extreme tourism, of course, we should mention village tourism, because you can face the real life of ordinary village person. Take part in festivals and celebrations and also workshops. Our local craftsmen would show you how to make carpets, work with stones. Of course, we have quite close ties in the sphere of culture and cultural heritage. And I would like to introduce it to you. Pushkin, having a tour around Armenia, met Arba, which brought the body of Alexander Griboyedov. And he saw a church named after Prodigal Nikolai, which was built long ago. But right now, he undergone reconstruction. It has the basis of a cross, which represents a unique architecture. We also have a church of Holy Mother. And also a church named after Holy Sophia. Russian tourists also enjoyed Armenia because the flow, the influx of tourists from Russia shows that they enjoy visiting our Armenia. Top 3 countries who come to Armenia is always includes Russia. I will talk in detail about the opportunities, housing opportunities and hotels. We have more than 20 companies which conduct workshops and sports events. We also have centers for tourists, a wide range of hotels, up to 400,000 people places. We have big amount of restaurants and cafes. As for investment programs, our geographical location and good climatic conditions, we are planning to build a sports complex and a special leisure center in region. We also plan to develop ski tourism, mountain ski tourism in the region. We also believe that we need to pay more attention to building of hotels because we haven't got that much on that territory. We also believe that it's better to invest into resort complexes, but our resort, which we have right now, also provides a wide range of services. For example, for each sphere of your health. Also, as for sports complex, while implementing this project, we believe that we'll have even a concert hall, water facilities for leisure, also a building for housing, or for living, lodging, and also I'd like to mention that we are ready to cooperate with the Republic of Bashkortostan. We invite you to visit our region and to see the sights of our region, try our cuisine, and understand the opportunities of conducting business and tourism industry in our region.
That in our friendly countries as investment platforms, it's an ideal. And I believe that next year our business mission will go to Armenia. We will need to connect to this conversation. And I would like to give floor to Tatiana Nikolaevna Zhmalik, but before addressing to her, I would like to give floor to Pyotr Borisovich Rushanets, General Director of Belarus Foundation for Financial Support of Entrepreneurs, because Belarus is actively working in this part. Yeah, you can switch on the microphone. And what is done for entrepreneurs, because we speak about the mutual relationship and how the entrepreneurs supported on your side. Good morning, colleagues, and I need to say that in the Republic of Belarus, SME is a quite vivid part of the economy. According to all the indexes, it's around 1/3 of the economy. If we speak about the employed people, the GDP level, the taxation, and of course the work with SME is always one of the priorities of state economic policy. We have different financial instruments of support. First of all, it's the development of business media, business environment, and once in 5 or 7 years we adopt a huge document for reforms, and every year and practically every week we do the spot work for improving the business. We created a special agency for improvement of administration procedures and transforming them to the digital format, and other institutions. If we speak about the Belarusian fund, we also do the financial support. We have leasings, loans, guarantees for small-size business, and non-financial. I won't tell you about all our tools, but I would like to point out one tool that we use that deals with the production cooperation. We've noticed a long time ago that besides the objective barrier, there is a subjective barrier between the small-size business and large-size business. It can be psychological, it can be maybe due to the lack of information, but huge companies don't work with small companies, and we implemented the program that all huge holdings, the biggest enterprises, and the information of the products that they purchase and that could be produced by small business, they systematize it and do it separately on our web page. You can see that information. But then we conduct online stock exchanges on a weekly basis. So we take one or two huge enterprises, and in online mode, all those who wish from SME part, we give them opportunity to meet, and online to speak to the representatives of these huge enterprises. It can be chief engineer, chief designer, economist. So we give them 10-15 minutes and ask the questions they want to ask. And we save time a lot for this small-sized business to avoid choosing the wrong route, and to speak at once whether they will have the subject of cooperation or not. If yes, then they establish contacts and they increase the trials and cooperation, of course. But why I'm telling you this is that this experience that we have on interreaction of this cooperation chains, we started copy to the international level. And here we have our colleague from Federal Corporation, and this year in St. Petersburg we concluded an agreement with the Federal Corporation, SME, and we have already conducted several mutual events with the corporation. And I need to tell you about the digital platform of SME, and Belarusian enterprises, they also actively use this platform. And we have conducted two huge stock exchanges like that on the interaction between the Belarusian enterprises and Russian enterprises. So, and we agreed to continue and to enforce it next year. And right now we have a more effort on the subjects of the Russian Federation and other countries. So we have representatives of Armenia here today with us, and any direction is interesting for us for cooperation. But coming back to the regions of the Russian Federation, I offer us to cooperate in this field, first of all through the corporation, but take into consideration the potential of Belarusian and Bashkortostan enterprises. We can go to bilateral level, and I spoke with your colleague, the head of the Center of Development of that business. We exchanged contacts already, and we will try to reach this bilateral level of communication to enforce our directions. That's what I wanted to say briefly. Thank you. Thank you, Petr Borisovich. Here we have, I would like to remember the visit of the Republic of Bashkortostan when we met Alexander Lukashenko, and we agreed that we need to increase the goods turnover up to $1 billion, so we still need to reach it. So, and the order of the order of Alexander Grigorievich is always fulfilled by the Belarusian side. And I think everyone is charged in this position. So we need to increase the cooperation, and we need to reach the Belarusian side and work. So how this dialogue is built, I would like to give floor to Tatiana Жмайлик, Deputy.
Предпринимательства. Татьяна Николаевна, вы с нами?
Are you with us?
Так, видимо, есть.
Да.
Отлично.
Добрый день.
Good afternoon, good morning.
Строится этот самый диалог.
So how do you build this cooperation of
того, что мы говорим,
power, authority, and business? Because we need to, that our entrepreneurs need to reach each other more actively.
Добрый день, уважаемые.
Good morning, dear sirs.
Кратко расскажу
I will tell you briefly about the
юридических лиц республиканской.
the union of legal entities of the
Благодарить участников.
Republican Confederation of Entrepreneurship. I would like to thank organizers for the invitation and giving floor to participate in this event.
Союз юридических лиц.
The Union of Legal Entities, Republican Confederation of Entrepreneurship, was created 23rd of August 2007 in Minsk, according to the initiative of regional and business associations. Since its beginning until the last days of its life, the management of this union was headed by the leader of the entrepreneurship movement, Vladimir Nikolaevich Korygin. Development of entrepreneurship was his favorite deal, and he developed the concept of the changes in the economic system of the Republic of Belarus. Since December 2020, the head of the Supreme Coordination Committee and the Presidium
Союза юридических лиц
of the Union
Федерации предпринимательства был избран Андрей Валерьевич
was Andrei Valerьевич Kabutok.
начатое Владимиром Николаевичем, имеет успешное
The cause that was started by Mr. Korygin is still going on.
бизнес-союза
Among the existing business unions in Belarus,
активным и представительным.
Confederation is the most powerful, so we comprise more than 400 members, regional business associations and unions, scientific institutions, non-commercial and commercial organizations, banks, foundations, subjects of infrastructure of entrepreneurship support. Confederation is a part of Belarus Trade and Commerce Chamber and of the Republic of Belarus, European Confederation of SME, a member of Polish-Belarus Trade and Commerce Chamber, official partner of the Council for the Development of Entrepreneurship in the Republic of Belarus. The activity is aimed at the support of development of SME and creation of favorable media and business climate, and stimulate the business activity of citizens, expanding the geography of cooperation. Sorry for interrupting, but we're not on the meeting of the Council of Representatives. Let's speak in more plain language how the work is conducted with the business through the Confederation. In more simple words, because I'm afraid that we're all entrepreneurs here and we are aware of what is Confederation. Just what are the support measures are very popular or among investors from other countries, from other regions maybe, and how Confederation can be useful for those who come to Belarus? Confederation had its representatives in other countries, in Latvia, in Germany, in China, and in Iran. And Confederation signed agreement for intercooperation with the Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Belarus. Since 2016 till October 2022, Confederation organized 70 business visits to different countries of the world. The major events that
Приняла участие конфедерация.
Confederation took part in
Польша, региональная
it
молодежь.
was in Poland, regional youth
Соотечественников.
conference in Bishkek,
Конгресс
World Congress of Compatriots
местного управления самоуправления в
of
городе Миколаевке.
self-management in city of Mykolaiv.
12 иностранных,
We also
в том числе делегаций
were visited by 12 international delegations from Russian Federation, Germany, China, Latvia, Italy, and Lithuania.
В декабре
In December 2021,
Федерации подписано
Confederation signed agreements on participation on cooperation with the Union of Legal Entities,
Фондом развития и поддержки малого предпринимательства
Foundation of
Башкортостан.
SME Foundation of the Republic of Bashkortostan.
23 июня состоялся официальный
On the
визит
23rd of June, the official visit
Американской конфедерации
happened
предпринимательства в город Москву.
to Moscow.
Главным мероприятием визита стало
The
подписание
main event of the visit was the signing the memorandum with the Russian
Россия.
organization Delovaya Rossiya. On the 4th of October,
Конфедерация в
the
составе
Confederation visited
приняла участие в
and participated in the work on forum concerning the security issues on the cooperation between Russia and Belarus that took place in Svetlogorsk
Татьяна
of
Николаевна,
the Russian Federation.
огромное. Вот сейчас,
Thank you very much, Tatiana Nikolaevna. We have Petr Borisovich to add about.
Коллеги, я
I would like to add, dear colleagues, that Belarus
бизнес-союзы,
business unions and confederations in Belarus, they're quite powerful in their work, and confederation that was presented by Tatiana,
представляет, это
it's one of the leading ones,
одна из ведущих
one of the leading associations, and if you want to work with Belarus, if you don't work with it,
таких
it's one of the key directions for cooperation. So please address to this confederation and you will get help.
гораздо более,
So business associations, they are usually more open and they understand how
какие механизмы
what
можно воспользоваться.
tools can be used in this or that country, and this cooperation through the trade and chamber commerce
В каждой стране мира
that has representatives practically in every country. And we have a guest from Iran,
торгово-промышленной палаты
representative
Исламской Республики Иран.
The representative of Trade and Commerce Chamber of the Republic of Iran,
В Иране
Islam Abbas Mirzan Ghazi.
экономика
First of all, we'd like to touch upon the topic of shadow economy. Are there any complications which you face?
Министр,
Distinguished
коллеги, дамы и господа,
Mr. Minister,
какой урок может
also distinguished colleagues and guests,
американских и
which
европейских санкционных войн?
which solution could Iran provide to Russia in the context of American and European sanctions? Russia, as the main part of world economy, less than in 2 weeks became the biggest target of global sanctions. According to Wall Street Journal, one of the odds of Iran is the creation of shadow economy and the framework of the harsh international sanctions. The Wall Street Journal notes that 61 Iran accounts in banks of China, Hong Kong, Singapore, Turkey, and United Arab Emirates, and also hundreds of $millions on transactions on 28
Таких
foreign
операций
bank accounts.
в периоды санкций на сумму в десятки миллиардов долларов.
Western
Западные спецслужбы
special services accepted that there are
на десятки миллиардов
such financial operations which are connected with Iran
фонда МВФ
during the period of sanctions for the amount of tens millions of dollars.
в конце 2022 года достигнут 100
Up to the end of 2022, this hidden import and export operation would reach $150 billion.
сталь и нефтехимических
Main issues of export from Iran implemented in shadow economy are fuel, steel, and oil industry. If Tehran reached the creation of shadow economy and also the goals which were set, even though they knew America and its supporters, doesn't it mean that Russia can? I think that Russia also could implement its shadow economy using the experience of Iran. But despite the point of view of Polina Vasilenko, I believe that the economy of the country could be withdrawn from the world economy and place it on the ground. The bright example of it is Northern Korea. No one could destroy the country while it is under protection of a powerful and exclusive person as Vladimir Putin. Secondly, I believe that if Western countries would act in order to withdraw Russian economy from the world market, we'll see the destruction of European Union. The first round in Eastern Europe, the second part would be Western Europe. Russian energy representatives could not be withdrawn from the world markets. So I believe that it's just fraud. Since the beginning of the revolution in Iran and during all these periods of the regime of the USA was the main opponent of Iran and used all political, economic forces, also military and propaganda tools. We cannot interact with the government which breaks the international agreements. The foundation of oil economy was one of the basic disadvantages of Iran economy. They needed to reach the standpoint when our representatives could close the oil wells. Right now we have the main disadvantage in oil industry, and because other people state the prices for oil. Oil as a national fund should be available to us because our need in it becomes less and less. We believe we need to pay more attention to the knowledge of entrepreneurs with the specified information. We realize that to stick the problems of the country, to connect the problems of the country, especially economic ones, to the agreements with Western countries and conduct talks is a great mistake. During such ineffective interaction, people are waiting for funds for several months, and after that, they wait the implementation of the contracts. They just long when Western representatives would follow their contracts. Through years of sanctions, through conflicts and good and bad experience, Iran reached car and agricultural
Спасибо за внимание.
industry to be
Спасибо вам огромное.
increased
Опыт Ирана показывает
by themselves.
количество санкций
Thank you very much.
Ирана.
We know that the amount of sanctions against Iran
Рейтинг России теперь в этих санкциях как раз
cannot be even commented.
больше в 3 раза,
It
нежели
becomes even more than
Ирана. И сейчас закончить мне наш круглый стол хочется, конечно,
it was. And to sum up, to finish our roundtable, I would like to give the floor to Liana Saitova, General Director of SMI Development and Support Fund of the Republic of Bashkortostan. We also would like to ask,
кластерным
from the point of view of cluster approach, cluster ecosystem for business, how would we manage the work right now? Thank you very much, Ravil. Good afternoon, dear participants and guests of the roundtable. Yes, previously with Dmitry Borisovich, before the event, we have already discussed some of the issues and marked the plan of the events, mutual events, and I believe that up to June, with several projects implemented together, would have. Surely today, our colleagues presented the support measures. First of all, financial support. I would like to talk about non-financial support measures. Maybe they are also quite essential for small and medium-sized businesses. To cut it short, I would stick to my plan. I'll use my plan, just because we have only 3 minutes. We all see that up-to-date economy and globalization is increasing. Whether we have this paradox that we mostly make regions full participants of the economic relationships. On making Russian economy sustainable, we try to stabilize the state of things at the level of our republic and also the whole country within the framework of sanctions. We have step-by-step solutions, and I would like to talk about non-financial support measures, this cluster approach, the ordering of the economic system at the example of land. The main duty of my center, where I worked previously, was analysis of the economic state in Russian regions. The fund of support, SME support, is one of the oldest in the Russian Federation. And my previous experience and my experience in the fund would be interconnected and will build up new mechanisms and develop new projects for the entrepreneurs. To date, we have more than 50,000 entrepreneurs who received support. Of course, financial support is more popular for businessmen today, and our fund worked properly in this direction for quite long. And right now, we have other claims from entrepreneurs, this new trend. How do you think? What do they ask for? What are the needs of Russian entrepreneurs now? First of all, of course, money. But money is not enough. They also talk about information, about analytics, numbers, to understand what is happening on site. That's why not only financial support is necessary, especially for micro businesses, they need analytics. We all understand that SMEs are closer to people, to citizens, those people who are working on site in cities and villages. They are the basis of the economic development of the territory they exist. It's not only about the growth of the enterprises within the territory, but also opening of new. That's why we have decided to change the strategy and developed a new concept of work. the new format of working is being included into the state work is actual from the point of view of today's needs, because business wants to understand the market situation, have analysis of the market environment, also about the spheres, understanding the level of money in this or that region, also have the analysis of their clients and customers. Some of you could say that that's the problem of the business. I believe that not, just because the assistance should be provided from the state, because it's a monthly activity. Analysis of territory, markets, opportunities to implement the activity of small and medium-sized businesses. That's why I believe that it's a state duty, and state should be the assistant to business. I will share some examples as we worked on other territories in 2022. At order of the Prime Minister of the region, we conducted several researches, expert researches, interviewing of experts in the field of support measures. It was just not long ago we only established them. Right now we see the numbers when we have already processed it. So the support measures which were working during the pandemic became the best around Russia. Talking about numbers, each second entrepreneur could use their support measures. We also conducted phone call interviewing, and more than half of the respondents answered positively on the support measures developed on the territory of the Republic. We had the full understanding that our region could develop business. Excuse me, we have only 1 minute left. I can talk for quite long, for example, about the practice of Crimea. We assessed more than 40 markets around Crimea for several years. We see that different opportunities are presented at different markets. They have different competitiveness on them. So while conducting this research, we see the opportunities for businesses who would like to enter this or that market, this or that area, because each of them have peculiarities. For example, we also conducted analysis of the territory for several years, and also the labor forces of the territory, the opportunities. It's also an essential part and aspect of the work of entrepreneurs, especially when they invest into the territory or enter it with a big industrial project. They should understand the volumes of the labor force. To cut it short, of course I can tell more. These are the essentials which we plan to develop in our fund on the basis of our analytical audit center. These tasks which we set for us, maybe they're quite ambitious, but we can find solutions to it if you put it into order, into parts which you understand. The thing is that we should understand it, and I think that all the needs would be covered with the presence of you. Thank you very much, dear colleagues, that you found time and joined our event. And once again, I would like to repeat that business is growing despite all the casualties, step by step. And I call for you not to give up, to start and to join different business units, associations. We talked today about different measures of support, you saw that 70%
Что говорят, ой, мы вообще ни о чем не знаем.
of representatives of different businesses, they have no information. So be informed, cooperate
Все было круто.
in order to stay tuned.
Еще раз хотел все, конечно,
Thank you very much. I also would like to thank you,
отдельно хочу сказать слова благодарности
and
нашей делегации из Беларуси, потому что
I would like to thank the
году
representative from Belarus, because I could name this year the year of Belarus and Bashkortostan. And we also have large-scale events the next year,
коллегам
and we would like them to participate too. And I also very thankful to our colleagues from Iran. I know that their story is quite difficult, and I understand that development of business is in our hands. So those countries who introduce sanctions to our country
все эти санкции, они носят
and all that sanctions,
стиль.
they have
И,
the
конечно, хотелось бы, чтобы они об этом задумались,
case of boomerang, because
потому что сегодня очень важный момент. Да?
right now it's very important to
Остаются большие,
understand that we have big opportunities
и чтобы не получилось
for our country, but they have
горькое разочарование
the possibility of
бизнеса. Поэтому надо об этом думать.
failure in their businesses too, due to the sanctions to our country. So they would think over it. Thank you very much, distinguished colleagues.